we are making venison stroganoff. So good. Hi folks, my name is Allie DeAndrea. Welcome back to another Outdoor Solutions from Field to Table recipe video. Tonight, we are making venison stroganoff. I have a beautiful piece of bottom round. This is from the white-tailed deer that I killed in Pennsylvania this past hunting season, and this meal is going to be delicious. I'm not gonna lie, we already filmed this video once. We had a horrible SD card issue and all of the footage was lost, but I do know that this recipe is awesome. So I'm really excited to make it again. And first thing, we're just gonna jump right into it. First thing you'll want to do is defrost your meat. Best thing to do is just throw it from the freezer to the refrigerator overnight. Give it like 24 hours to start to thaw. And then before you're ready to cook, pull it out and salt it. You wanna salt both sides, all sides of the meat. And ideally leave that in the refrigerator for up to a day. But as long as you get that salt going at least an hour before you get started, it will make a big difference in the end product as far as flavor goes and tenderness. Okay, moving on. Now we are going to slice this bottom round into thin strips. So let's do it. Step one, pat the meat nice and dry. Remove any silver skin, any funky connective tissue. I've got a little going on here that I'm going to cut away. It's really important for the meat to be dry, not necessarily before you cut it into strips, but before we sprinkle it with flour. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pat it dry right now. Now, because my bottom round is so large, I'm going to cut this directly down the middle, just to give myself some smaller pieces to work with. Meat is so rich in color. Love it. All right, before I move on with the meat, I'm going to get my pan on the stove heating up. So I'm putting a bunch of olive oil on there. You can use other like high temperature oils like avocado oil, canola oil, peanut oil. I'm going olive oil. And I'm putting this on a medium-high setting and giving this plenty of time to heat up. Cast iron pans are fantastic for searing because it creates a very even layer of heat, if that makes sense. The downside is that it takes a little while for this big old pan to heat up. So we're gonna get that going now and we'll spend some time working on our meat. So I am going to coat this with some flour. So I've got a little, this is a 1/4 cup measuring cup. We may need to go in for 2 scoops, we'll see. Okay, cool. So then I'm gonna pat this in and then we'll flip and we'll make sure that we coat the other side evenly. You can see we've got a little smoke going to the pan. That means it is ready. So I'm going to drop these in there one at a time. There's the sizzle. Yes. That is the sound you want to hear. Right. I'm turning the heat down to like a medium, adding some more oil. Leave all of the little brown bits, even like burnt bits, in the bottom of that pan. That is holding so much flavor that we want to bring into this dish. So we'll let that oil heat up a bit, then we're adding our onions first. This is gonna give me a big sizzle, I know it. Some of the onions hiding under the mushrooms. Cool. Grab a wooden spoon. Give those a little stir. Okay, adding a little salt to the onions. They'll start to smell like sweet and caramelized. That's when you want to add a little salt. Give them, you know, another minute or so, and then we're adding our mushrooms. I went with a baby Bella mushroom tonight. Don't be afraid to add a little more oil. Those mushrooms are like sponges. They're going to want to suck up all that oil. You don't want to salt the mushrooms quite yet though. When you salt mushrooms, they start to expel out moisture. So we're gonna leave the salt with the mushrooms until the very end. Now that my mushrooms are softened, I'm going to add some garlic, stir that up, and allow that to cook down for about a minute. Okay, chopped up some fresh rosemary and thyme. You can use the dried stuff. I only used fresh because I have it, so I'm going to throw that in there. I have to look at the recipe to see exactly how much. Hold on. About half a teaspoon of rosemary and thyme. Because, like, anytime you're using fresh, you use slightly more than dried, so that's something to keep in mind. So now I'm going to add, I'm going to butcher the name of this. Worcestershire sauce. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. And that packs a big punch of flavor. So definitely measure that guy. And then I'm going in with 2 tablespoons Dijon mustard. And this one, you know what? Might not measure. I need 2 hands. I'm not gonna measure this one. It's about 1. And it's about 2. Stir that up. Wow. Look, I wish you could smell that, you guys. It looks so delicious and it smells even better. Okay, turning this pan down to low for 1 minute. Some white wine is needed for this recipe, so. Ooh, cheers. I normally drink red wine. That's a nice change. I'm heating up my water for the egg noodles, and this is a really important tip. You need to salt your water when you're cooking pasta. So I've got a big pot here with some water in it. It doesn't matter if you add the salt now or once the water's actually warm, but you need a lot of it, a lot more than you think. You basically have to add enough salt that when you taste the water, it kind of tastes like the ocean, like it's that salty. And then that's when you know that you've added enough salt. So I'll let that dissolve and then I'll give it a taste, add more salt if I need to. That salt is going to season the pasta. So that's a really important step and something that I recently learned. I am trying to improve my kitchen skills, and that's a really cool tip that I learned recently, so I wanted to pass it on. I need another spoon to stir that. And then we'll get back to our onion mushroom mixture. Now we are going to add 1 cup of that white wine. We're gonna reduce this. So mine was already on low, but if, in case you weren't on low yet, you wanna decrease the temperature to like a medium low and allow this wine to reduce down. Grab your wooden spatula and go ahead and scrape away all of that good brown bit on the bottom of the pan. Now I am adding 2 cups of beef stock. Once I add this, I'll mix it together and then we'll allow this to simmer until it reduces by about half. Good stir. Okay, I'm adding egg noodles to the pot of boiling water. These only have to cook for 5 or 6 minutes, but we are getting close to adding our meat and entering the final stretch for our stroganoff. So add those noodles, give them a stir. Side note, but I just feel like I have to say this pot is not ideal for boiling water. It's the only pot that I have right now that's big enough for that. That's the only reason why I'm using that. I just have to get that out. Okay, back over here. We're giving this a stir. It's reduced by about half. And now I'm adding 1 cup of sour cream. And for this, I am eyeballing. Take a minute and really make sure that that's well incorporated with the rest of the liquid. Now we are going to add our venison back to the cast iron, and then I'm going to let all of this cook down for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, some butter going in with our egg noodles. Give that a good stir, let that melt, and then I'm also going to add some fresh parsley. This is just flat leaf parsley. If you don't have fresh, you can use dried as well, but if you have access to fresh, use fresh. I'm gonna go ahead and start serving this up right over top of our egg noodles. Oh boy. You can see the beautiful mushrooms, the nice thick cut of venison. The egg noodles look so nice dressed with their parsley. Then I'm gonna go ahead and top this with a little more parsley. All right, it is time. Oh my gosh. All right, I want a nice piece of venison. I want a nice mushroom. Those egg noodles. I'm gonna make sure it's cool enough so I can really take a good bite. Okay, cheers. Oh my gosh. It's like, it develops as you go. Wow. Wow. Okay, I should probably describe what I'm eating right now. All right, so what do I taste? I taste the venison, which is, do I have parsley on my lip? I taste the venison, which is beautifully tender. The coating of flour gives it a nice, almost breaded kind of experience in your mouth. The parsley is beautiful and bright, like the perfect garnish. You have some umami from the mushrooms and the onions and the wine. That, my friends, is absolutely delicious. That is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the Outdoor Solutions from Field to Table YouTube channel. You can check out this recipe on their website. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.